The million-dollar question we still don't have an answer to in the death of Helena Hutchins, who was shot on the set, a movie set, by actor Alec Baldwin.
So whether someone accidentally, and I can't even imagine this, deliberately placed a live round in that gun, I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, so who did that? Because you know what? That is the bottom line question here. Who put that bullet in that gun and why? Attorney Brian Claypool, when the story continues. Hunt, with that, we bring in attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, good to have you with us. You know, excuse me. I can't help, every time I look at this story, I say, how is this possible that you can't trace the custody of a live bullet that got into a gun? There's all these people around while all of this is happening. I want to play this soundbite. This is Hannah Gutierrez-Reed talking about this right after it happened with police. Watch this.
This is the one, I'm pretty sure. That's the one. And okay. Sorry.
You're okay.
Sorry.
Just relax. Just relax.
I'm so scared.
You're all right. Just relax.
So here's the box that I got them out of.
Okay. Leave them right there. Leave them right there, okay? Relax. I just need you to...
Obviously, she's very upset, very emotional. But, Brian, the sheriff was interviewed about this, and he said, well, that's the one key thing we're looking into. But right now, no one has come forward and admitted that they brought live rounds to the set. So that's where we are.
Yeah, hey, Martha, great to be back with you. There's $2 million questions here. The first one you've mentioned was where did the bullet come from, right? The $2 million question is why is it taking so long for the sheriff's department to complete its investigation? Because after they're done, they've got to send it off to the district attorney. They've got to then review it to determine whether charges get filed. And look, at the end of the day, let's discuss that video by Alec Baldwin. I heard him at the beginning of that video say, I shot the gun. Then later on, he said he just cocked it, and then the gun went off. That's one issue. Another issue is, did you see, Martha, how he pulled it out when he was rehearsing? It would be great to break that video down piece by piece, but you could break it down like to centimeters to see whether when he pulled it out, it was actually cocked. Why is that important? Because if he's rehearsing and it's already cocked and it didn't go off, then that suggests that maybe he did pull the trigger when it went off to kill Helena Hutchins. But look, at the end of the day, I've been saying this all along. Even though we don't know where the ammunition came from, we know that the State Department of New Mexico Environmental Department concluded that this was a safety hazard, that the producers, the filmmakers had reckless disregard for firearm protocol and the safety of the employees. If you have that finding already, Martha, why isn't the sheriff's department making a recommendation that either Mays, the associate producer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, and or Alec Baldwin should face charges? I don't understand. They're responsible for looking into the gun to see whether there was a live bullet in there.
Yeah. I mean, do you think they're dragging their feet or there's, you know, I really cannot figure out what is going on here because there's nowhere than a film set where you're going to have more documentation of something that happened, of video,
Exactly.
people. There's a lot of people on that set. And I just feel like they ought to be able to trace the custody of that bullet. There was also reports that people were out having fun and shooting at stuff the night before with live rounds. So one last thought on why this is happening.
Yeah, I think, quite honestly, I think because we have a high-profile celebrity involved in this case, and I feel like they're handling this a little bit different because of that.
Oh. We will see. Brian, thank you very much. Brian Claypool.
You bet. Thanks, Martha.
Good to have you with us as always, Brian.